Hi, Art.
How we doing?
Doing well, thanks. Just got here just in time today. And I have a my wife just came up with a terrific idea that we're going to deploy for some of these videos that hopefully will make them interesting, engaging, and fast moving, so that it will grab people's interest.
Fantastic. What's the idea?
Well, we're going to do it, and I'll send it to you. You can look at it.
Okay, fair enough.
But
Fair enough.
well, I may as well run it by you. What the heck? The idea is to do a blended video where the first shot is in front of, say, a stone fireplace. The second piece of it is in a kitchen setting. All sort of remodeling project related backgrounds, but change the background.
That is an excellent way of doing it.
Is it? Okay, good.
Yep. Yep. That's been
Well,
done before, and it's an excellent way of doing it. Now, there's two ways of doing that, Alex.
okay,
One is to actually shoot the shots separately,
right.
and Grayson can tell you how to do this more than I can. So, Grayson, jump in and cover my mistakes. The other way is to shoot it in front of a green screen and then have your background changed technically.
Huh. By green screen, do you just mean like like a sheet or a wall or something?
Correct.
Well, you need to make sure there's no shadow, though. So you'll need light from both directions.
Huh.
But that means that you don't have to literally go to each setting. If you have still pictures of projects you've done before,
uh-huh.
you can literally just change the background. It's the way, have you ever seen how a weatherman is standing in front of nothing but you're seeing a weather map and stuff?
Yes.
That's a green screen. You can just change whatever background you want. In fact, there's a way to do that in Zoom, and I probably could do it right now if I knew how to do it. But
Huh. So
Art, go down to the bottom left.
yeah, bottom
You have to
left.
stop sharing your screen
Okay.
first. Now, highlight over your video, right? And then down at the bottom, you get that row where you do sharing.
Yeah.
All the way to the left of that, you have a microphone and a video camera.
Yeah.
So next to if you highlight over the video, there's a little up arrow. If you click on that,
Yeah.
it'll say choose your virtual background.
Okay.
And then you go in and you pick one.
Okay. Are you ready? I'm about to take a trip, Alex.
Okay.
I'm about to take a trip.
Bon voyage.
Yeah.
I got one better.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
Yeah.
But that's San
I like
Francisco.
Tatooine better.
I'm sorry?
I like Tatooine better than San Francisco.
So that is San Francisco. That doesn't fit my mood, actually.
Oh, man.
There I go.
Wow.
That's a little more in line.
There you go. That looks like a place that I would like.
Right.
The Caribbean
Okay.
or Hawaii or something.
This is
Yeah.
more my frame of mind right here.
Wow.
All right. So
Oh,
that's
that's
a green
cool.
screen. The reason is,
Matter of fact,
this is just integrated into the system, so it works really well.
Right.
When you're doing it, it takes a little more than just pushing a button.
So which
But
do
that
you
way-
think would be easier for me to, implement, knowing that neither I nor my wife are really IT whizzes?
Grayson, you got to answer that one.
sorry, I was turning my thing off. Repeat the question.
Okay.
Which is going to be easier for him to do? Jump in the car and drive all over the countryside, getting to the different backgrounds and then shooting a 5-second clip here, a 15-second clip there? Or is it better to do a green screen and get the individual photographs?
Well,
Sounds like green screen.
being in the environment and having that third dimension, if you're trying for perfect, it's probably better that way. But, to press the button and stuff, I think you get a green screen. I mean, you can go down to the local photo shop, get a green screen, a couple of lights, probably for $250 or so. I wouldn't think it'd cost that much.
Okay.
The green screen would be like a projector screen that you just roll down, but it's got a solid green, because what they do is there's a color key on those green screens, and they can just literally whatever they want to do, they should show it over the color key.
So what is Art doing? Art, you're doing it with Zoom. So
Right.
how are,
It's built, this is built into Zoom, so they've had high technology to pull it off.
Yeah, but look, he looks like Bruce Willis here.
Right. You know, so, and because I have a completely white wall in back of me, it works really well. But
I see.
but the technology is built right in. I mean, they paid big time tech people to do this. It's not quite as simple when you're doing it yourself. It's not necessarily that hard. I mean, there's, you know, other companies that, you know, there's, what is it, Adobe, Grayson, what's the Adobe product?
Premiere Pro.
Premiere
Premiere
Pro.
Pro. Yeah,
That would allow you to do a green screen and stuff. Or for that matter, our editors could do it for you if you supplied us the footage.
So
we probably ought to get started.
okay, so the green screen allows you to customize your own backdrop photos by removing the background and replacing it as desired.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Grayson,
Probably
you see
share
the
your screen.
Gail?
Art.
Grayson,
What?
you see the message from Gail?
No, but I'm looking. Ah, yeah. I
Thanks
don't
for
know-
the input on that.
I don't know why.
Okay. So for those who've just joined us, I got tired of quarantine, as you see, and I've actually gone to Alex's place in Hawaii, and I'm now shooting this video from, or this webinar from a beach in Hawaii. Okay.
Yeah, I love it.
Nice.
Another Mai Tai, please.
Another Mai Tai, absolutely. Okay. Now it's interesting, Alex, take a look at my hand as I raise it. Do you see that lag?
Yes, there's a lag in everything.
That's the green screen, you know, that's the technology that, because it's better when you do it correctly, if you know what I'm saying. This is just just put into the Zoom thing, and it has to work with everything. So it doesn't work quite as well with anything, if that makes
Okay.
sense. Okay.
Yeah. Thank you.
All right.
That's
Okay.
cool.
All right, but just to bring everyone else up to date, what we were discussing there was Alex is a remodeler, and what he'd like to do is shoot one of these videos with describing different features, like here's a fireplace we did, or it may not even describing it, just having different interesting backgrounds
Right.
from different projects he's done. He could either be discussing them or not discussing them, depending on the video. And he was thinking he had to, you know, kind of make arrangements to go around to each person's house that he's done this work and shoot a portion of the clip there. And we were saying the other option was to shoot green screen. If he had, I'm imagining for a lot of these, he has still photographs already
Yes.
about them. And so he could literally just do it by green screen. Now you lose the dimensions. In other words, I can't lean on that tree, Alex, if you understand what I'm saying. It's not
Yeah.
really there.
Right.
Where if you're actually there, you could lean on it and stuff. So that you get a 3D effect if you're there.
Hmm.
But for the majority of the effect you're looking for, this would do it. Would you agree?
Yeah, I think so. I'll check it out. We'll start playing with that on our end and see what we can come up with. If we do a series of short, you know, 10 to 15 second pieces, is there a way for us to, you know, stitch them together and make it into one?
Absolutely. That's what the Adobe Pro does.
Okay.
All right. Again, you can talk to Grayson or Chattery offline on that, and they can
Okay.
give you that information.
Are you saying you could take the photos and have the green screen behind you, literally a green screen behind you, and have the photos shown that
That is-
method?
That is correct.
Yeah.
Okay. As an
Now-
example, I just moved. I don't know if you see that, but
Gail, if you know, think about a weatherman. He's standing in front of a green screen.
Yeah.
and then they're just putting the TV behind him.
Right.
Yeah.
We have a green screen, but I was just curious, do you literally put up a green screen behind you then?
Yes.
Yeah, that's what I
Yeah.
thought. Okay.
This, what's in back of me is just a white wall, so it works because it's just one solid color.
Mm-hmm.
But if you see again with the hands, how they're not working instantly, if it was green, it would work better because it's easier to differentiate. The reason you're getting that lag is it's trying to figure out what is me and what is the background that they're projecting behind me. And so it's taking a moment to figure that out because the white doesn't give as strong a differentiation. The green they have found is the best color for helping the AI figure out what to show as you and what to show as background.
Cool.
Okay. All right. So in our exploring of digital, of video here and with YouTube, last week we did the 7 videos that everybody should have, both used in different areas such as advertising, email, website, and the like, but also can use in YouTube advertising. What I'm trying to do is give people a little different angle to look at things, because quite often if we change the angle, we can see it a little differently, if that makes sense to people. And so what I did this time was to make examples of videos you'd use at different points in the sales funnel. So in other words, what videos would you use to attract? What videos would you use to convert people to appointments? And what videos you might use to actually close the sale. All right. In some cases, they're different videos than we talked about last week. In some cases, they're the same. All right. Does that make sense to people?
You're going to give us examples. That's what you're saying?
Right. And I'm going to do it by area in the sales funnel. We're going to start off with 3 examples at the attract stage, 3 examples at the convert stage, and convert is not to a sale, convert is to an appointment. And then 3 examples of what you do to actually close a sale. Okay? All right, so let's start off. I'm going to share my screen. And the first thing is the attract. So in other words, this is the thing that gets somebody's attention, all right, and gets them to notice who you are, what you are, and why they might be interested in getting to know you. So that being said, let me just see here. I'm going to expand this. This video is in the attract. In other words, the people don't need to know anything about you at the time that they see this video. This would be an excellent video to use as a YouTube ad, as a pre-roll ad that we've been talking about. And this one is to develop thought leadership. This is the one where we show that we're experts and we're credible, and you will benefit from listening to us. Does that make sense to people?
Yes.
Okay. So this one that I've used as an example is one. Has anyone ever heard of a software called Moz? It's actually a company that helps companies like More Prospects Now to do a better job in SEO and the like. All right. That's who it is. This is a series they call Whiteboard Friday, and this is done by their founder, Ron Friscom, who's a legend within this world of digital marketing. And he has taken that ability to build a brand and a following to a very, very high level. And he's done it mostly by what he's called Whiteboard Friday. And every Friday he releases a video that's between 5 and 15 minutes long on a subject that is of interest to his clients, which is mostly digital marketing agencies, or at least digital marketing people. And he covers everything, and he goes out on the limb quite often. I mean, he's willing to be a little radical to catch attention. Now, if you take a look at the name of this Whiteboard Friday, do you see what it is? The best way to suck at marketing. Okay. Obviously, being a little controversial just to make sure that he gets your attention. So here we go. This is an 8.5-minute video. We're not going to watch the whole thing, but we'll watch about 2.5 minutes of it, enough to have you get a feeling of what he's doing and how he's doing it, okay?
Howdy Moz fans, and welcome to another edition of Whiteboard Friday. This week I wanted to talk about something I see from a lot of marketers where we just kill ourselves, people. We're dying. We're really sucking at our jobs, and the reason seems to be very consistent. It seems like this is almost the best way, the most popular way to suck at marketing. I'll show you what I'm talking about. So here's our marketer, right? And he or she has good intentions in mind, but he goes out and looks at, every opportunity with the same lens on, right? So goes out and looks at partnerships and sees only the possibility of business development, goes out and looks at other blogs and other places in the industry where they might contribute and sees only a guest post opportunity, a chance to earn a link, goes and looks at their landing pages and sees customers, potential customers coming to their site and thinks only what's the highest percent of those people that I can possibly convert to put in their credit card right now and buy something or make a transaction happen. They look at conferences and events and see only, all right, how do I speak there, or should I sponsor it, and how do I get the most customers I possibly can out of that event? How do I get coverage from press, media, and bloggers? How do I turn this advertising placement into ROI? How do I turn these people on social media who are interested in my topic into people who follow me, become my customers, and amplify my content? And this transactional model of thinking is actually really similar to how we do a lot of discussion in the marketing field. I'm guilty of this myself, right? I talk about, if you're looking for, folks on social media, how do you turn them into followers of yours? How do you turn them into amplifiers? And these are important topics that they're good tactics, but this view, this idea that all these people are just a chance to make money, just an opportunity, it's almost like the prostitution of marketing, right? If you think about the difference between dating and paying for a physical relationship, they're thought of in such different ways, right? One has all sorts of positive and romantic and long-term associations in the world, and the other has incredibly negative connotations. I won't get into the morality of our different views on these things, but this same thinking applies in the marketing world. And we've all been on the receiving end of it. We've all been these people who are reached out to by this transactional marketer. Transactional marketing results in only one thing: transactional relationships. And those transactional relationships are represented because every interaction is viewed exclusively through this, how are you going to become money for me? Which is an ugly, ugly way to think and an ugly way to be thought of. And we all can feel it.
All right. I'm going to ask people to kind of take yourself off of the, turn on your microphones. And just tell me, what do you think of what he's saying?
I think he's saying similar to what I've heard in other marketing courses regarding your online social media presence. You're supposed to, the point is, think about how you want to be spoken to in whatever it is you're looking to buy. You don't want to just seem like a target. Like, it would be helpful to get helpful information and have a, trust in whatever you're listening to. And
Right.
So yes, I think most times marketers market just to, it's kind of obviously the sales. It's the sales pitch, and that's all they care about is getting your sale. So it's just more of really offering helpful things. And, hey, if a customer's for you, then you'll ultimately build a relationship. You can't, everyone's not going to be your customer anyway. So
Right.
you just have to stick to your own, genuine self.
Do you see why marketers might tune into this guy next Friday?
Yes.
Right.
Well, I can relate to what he's saying. So if you can relate to him, yeah.
Right. Now, the interesting thing is what he's talking about here has nothing to do with his product. His product is a data-driven product where you can see how you're ranking, how Google's seeing you and stuff like that. He's not talking about that at all. But he is talking to what his clients need to do a better job, if that makes sense. So he literally is doing exactly what he's suggesting here and is not treating his prospects as transactional, because he's not talking about his product in any way, but he is talking about things that will concern the people who would consume his product.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now it's interesting how much we want to make a sale. Okay. I was literally just talking to a call center. And this call center specializes in doing calling for franchises. They don't take on many individual clients. You have to be a franchise to hire them. And so as an example, my client, which is the reason I was talking to them, is Color World. He's a painter, and Color World is a franchise for painting companies. And so the franchisor had hired them to do follow-up phone calls to people that filled out requests on the website, on the website, or on the web, on Facebook or whatever. Okay. And this literally is how one point of the conversation went. Chattery was on the call with me, so you can confirm it. I said to the call center, well, presently, my client, Scott, when someone fills out a form, you presently send an email. I said, now, is that email relationship oriented, or is it just book an appointment? And he goes, it is just book an appointment. And I said, do you think, I was trying to be diplomatic, do you think it would help if there was maybe a little relationship there, maybe some information that would be helpful, like the 20 questions you should ask a contractor before hiring them? And the guy broke into a big smile. He said, of course that would be better. And I said, well, why aren't you doing it? He said, because the franchisor won't let us. He wants us to book the appointment, and that's all. Okay. He didn't realize, the franchisor didn't realize that, in fact, they're booking less appointments because of him wanting to book an appointment, which is a little amusing in a little bit of irony, you know, that because he wants it so badly, he's not getting it as often.
Because that's the old school way of marketing, and it used to be the only way. They would say that you need to go immediate to call to action, and you need to, you know, and that's just how all the marketing experts, what they used to say for the online world. So that has evolved.
Yeah, it's interesting, Gail. I'm gonna challenge that a little bit. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I think in 20 years, when someone's talking about something they do now, they're going to say, well, that was the old way of doing it, because the enlightened way is always thought to be new, and the non-enlightened way is always thought to be old. Have you heard the name Ogilvy?
Ogilvy, no.
He is the father of modern marketing. He was back in the 30s and 40s.
Mm-hmm.
Guess how he marketed? Just take a wild guess.
Relationship consultative marketing.
Yep. He would literally put an ad in a newspaper and say, hey, send in this coupon to get your free book on how to do whatever it was that you were doing. He literally was doing it exactly like inbound marketing says to do it now.
So
Okay.
I guess not old school, just recent old school is what I'm saying. I've had many marketing expert, alleged, that's in quotes, direct over the course of years of that's what you do is call to action. So I'm just referring in the last 10 years.
But what my point is, I think to some extent it's human nature to not want to waste time with all that other stuff. It's human nature to just want to sell the person. And so it's always the predominant thought. And then there's always the enlightened thought that's the better marketers that are doing it a different way. All right. At one point, he represented London Fog. And London Fog had, at the time, 65% of the rain gear market at the time. I mean, and it was all done through education. Exactly what we'd call inbound marketing now. Now, other people didn't look at what he was doing and go, oh my God, that's so good, and everybody switched to it. There was still the majority of the people going, no, no, ask for the sale. We want the sale. Go for the sale. You know what I mean? It's just funny. It's just part of human nature. All right. All right. Portia, you're quiet. What's your thoughts?
And what in particular?
Just on, do you see how this video that I just played could become a good way to introduce people to who you are and what your expertise is?
Yes, I do like it that he, as the other person said, speaks to sort of my insecurity. Like, I don't want to just be seen as give me your money. So I want to see what else he has to say.
Right.
I also think just visually it's interesting. He didn't choose, he chose sort of this choppy platform instead of just a sort of a smooth video. It's interesting, just a little.
Well, that's
catchy.
only the Zoom.
That's what?
That's only the Zoom that's causing that choppiness. If you watch it on your computer, it's perfect.
Okay.
Well, but I think also, and Portia, tell me if this is included, this guy is running a company worth tens of millions of dollars.
Yeah.
He could have a very sophisticated presentation, and instead he's standing in front of a whiteboard.
Right, which I suppose is nice. He has rolled up sleeves. He makes him seem like a sort of a practical, relatable person.
Yeah, I agree. Now, Grayson, I agree about the choppiness and stuff, but I think that it's the whole thing that this is not a high budget operation he's running here, where clearly Rand Fishkin could be running a very polished operation.
Well, yeah, and he's trying to relate to the small guy. They're trying to get people to relate to him.
Right. Okay. And he'll also, I'll say, is a little edgy, which gets him noticed. I mean, I think making us compare ourselves to a prostitute and a regulating situation,
Right.
you know, we get it. He's not calling us a prostitute, but he is making us uneasy. Is that fair to say?
He didn't make me feel uneasy, but he is talking about an uneasy topic when he's using that as an analogy. So that he likes to be shocking, like you said, and look at his title, The Best Way to Suck at Marketing, but that got people to look that maybe hadn't even been a follower of him. Plus
Correct.
he shows by all his writing, and also it's like perfect. He doesn't have the best handwriting, but his point isn't that he's trying to get you to read all those little things, but it shows that he's very informed, you know, and he seems to be speaking about something he knows about, you know, and he doesn't have like the perfect drawings, but that's what works.
It's funny you should say that, Gail, because I actually watched a video of him talking about the development of the idea of the Whiteboard Friday. And he actually is a calligraphy expert. He did his first whiteboard and it was perfect. It was gorgeous. And his administrative assistant walked in and said, "That's horrible. It looks perfect." And she erased it and redid it.
Yeah.
And they fell in love with it. So they actually didn't dumb it down, but they made it less sophisticated on purpose.
Right.
To your
And
point.
you can see that that's like, you know, makes it more endearing because it makes it more relatable to me, because you can see that, yeah, nobody's perfect, but
Right.
you know, they used to say your videos had to be perfect, you know, when online video stuff came out, if you
Right.
wanted people to look at it, but really it's more relatable when it's just kind of a natural video to
Right.
me.
Okay, so the next one we look at, because we have to keep moving along, is brand videos, ones that showcase the values and the mission of your company, okay? And I picked a coffee company here that's an interesting coffee company. This is the story that you tell about your company, okay?
When I was 16, I started getting stretch marks. I was fat, and the weight just kept coming on no matter what I did. And I tried dieting, and I would try different things, and I felt like a failure. I started getting brain fog, and I realized that no matter how hard I pushed, that there were times when I just didn't have what it took to do my work, to show up, to have energy, and I just felt like something was wrong. But it was worse than I thought, because I went to the doctors, and they said, Dave, you've got a high risk of stroke and heart attack, and you're not even 30. And I realized I'm an engineer. The doctors aren't helping me. They're telling me something's wrong, but they have no clue. So I decided that if I can hack the internet, I could hack this. What would happen if I did the things that aren't supposed to work? So I decided to go to Tibet to learn meditation from the masters. And I ended up at a monastery where I spent 10 days in mostly silence, meditating and learning about meditation, and decided to go to Mount Kailash, which is the holiest mountain in the entire world. And there I am at 18,000 feet elevation, 10 degrees below zero, and I'm feeling really crappy because there's no oxygen. And then a little Tibetan woman gave me a bowl of yak butter tea, and I drank it, and in about 5 minutes, I felt my brain wake up, and I felt better than I had in a very long time, even though I should have been feeling terrible. And it stood out so much that when I came back to Silicon Valley, I said, I'm gonna try butter and tea in various combinations, and that ended up being the genesis of Bulletproof Coffee.
There's a new fad that promises to give your daily cup of joe an extra kick of energy.
Have you heard of Bulletproof Coffee?
It's called Bulletproof Coffee.
Bulletproof coffee. Work smarter and think faster.
I've been drinking that Bulletproof Coffee.
Bulletproof Coffee? Instead of milk, it's butter?
That's butter.
Tastes pretty good.
I will need a cup of it every hour.
What I came up with was something that tasted amazing, but it turned my brain on every single day. And I used that power from the meditation I learned, from Bulletproof Coffee, from all these other biohacks to give me the energy to be working full-time as a vice president at a big company while starting Bulletproof and being a father of 2 young children. And what it all comes down to is the fact that you can turn on more energy in your body in ways that most people have never heard of. This is based on Nobel-winning science. This is based on 500 interviews with world experts. We have this unlimited power inside of us that we can tap into, and it comes from aligning things in your physical body, in your emotional body, your spiritual body. So you get enough of those lined up that there are things you can do. There are levels of power that you have. There's energy that's in there and has always been in there, but it's hidden. Here's the deal. The world's a better place when you're well-fed, when your biology works the way it was meant to work. And when you have that, you can actually raise your IQ. You can live longer. But along the way, you're gonna feel a lot better, you're gonna have more energy, and you're gonna like your life better. That's why this matters. And that was the birth of Bulletproof.
Okay. Clearly, he's not competing with Starbucks.
Where can I get some of that stuff?
Just bulletproofcoffee.com. You'll
Just thinking that.
bulletproof.com.
They sell it on Amazon. That's my
Sound
place.
tasty.
Yeah. I mean, he's on a mission. He has values he stands for and stuff. I mean, I've got to admit, I watched it and I had Rob's reaction. I actually, okay, Grayson, don't make too much fun of me. I actually went up and put butter on my coffee just to try it. And the power of suggestion, I actually feel more alert. I don't know if it worked or not. I know I decided it worked.
But how did it taste?
Oh, it actually tasted really good, but I like butter.
I've been drinking it for 2 years, but the theory is because your brain is mostly made up of fat. And so if you add a healthy fat, such as grass-fed butter, you know, specifically like top quality butter, not just any butter, or MCT oil specifically, you know, he talks about why his is the best. But anyway, that's why, because it helps, you know, your brain needs good fats. And typically in this society, everyone's down on the fats. So therefore they don't get enough fats for their brain. So that's why getting a boost of fat when you're potentially depleted helps you.
It's right into my keto that I'm working on and have been for the past year or so. And I can tell you that I'm very interested in this product, not just from the video, but the video certainly helped.
Right. And when you consider buying it, are you gonna be price comparing it to other coffees?
Well, sure.
You think so?
Well, I mean, I would want to make sure that it's not going to be $100 compared to 10, but if
Yeah.
it's if it's a reasonable, even if it was, if it was twice what my normal coffee is, I'd probably consider it and try it out.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I definitely understand I'm buying more than coffee, I guess is what I'm saying.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. Now, again, remember, this is at the beginning. We're trying to attract attention. No one, well, I say no one, almost no one's going to go and buy based on this video. But there's a good chance they'll go to the website. There's a good chance they'll explore other things. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Yeah.
It's moving the people. It's the attraction. They have definitely gotten my attention, and it sounds like they've gotten the attention of some other people on this call. So job well done to them. Okay, the next one is the explainer. Again, this is coming at the beginning, at the track stage. This is an explainer one. And I try to put in a few different types of videos here just to kind of expose us. So this is a animated one.
Life would be pretty mundane if we were all the same, right? This can also be said for our homes. Things can also get boring if we don't make a change every now and then. Perhaps you want to go country, embrace a minimalist look, or go to chic, modern or wild. Whatever the case, you need something that oozes charm, beauty and high quality. We've spent years remodeling our clients' kitchens to perfection. We've collected all the most stunning ideas into one place, providing you with the inspiration you've been searching for. Turn your house into a home with unique cupboards, appliances, countertops and more. Go for uncluttered, purity, contemporary, warmth, whatever your heart desires. Our team of qualified pros have all the tools and skills you need to go forth with peace of mind. Why not get in touch today? Breathe some new life into your biggest investment.
All right. Explain a video, animated just for a change. Do you see how that could get someone's attention and have them start a process, start a journey after seeing that video? What do you think?
I didn't really like it.
You didn't like it, okay?
It
Daisy,
just
what do you
when I
think?
buy a kitchen. I mean, I got kind of the gist of what they were saying, but if I would like to see an example of a beautiful kitchen, and it really didn't fulfill that at all.
Yeah, here's the interesting thing, Rob. I happen to agree with you. So what I'm about to say is not from disagreeing, okay? But there's a thought in the advertising or marketing world that you want to leave people being able to imagine it in their head because you don't want them being stuck with something they don't like. So in other words, if you look at a Mercedes-Benz ad, there's almost never a human being in it. You'll see a shadow of someone behind the dashboard and stuff, but you're supposed to be able to picture yourself in that vehicle, which is an interesting thing. I don't know if I buy it, but I will say that was not by mistake that they did it that way. It was a marketing concept, if that makes sense.
And the other thing is that this is an example of a video. So that's probably why a person should have different types of videos, because different things speak to different people, just like, all your clients aren't going to have the same interests or likes or dislikes you do. So therefore, this one might speak to someone in your audience that another video doesn't.
That's exactly right. Yep. Great point. All right. So those are 3 videos that you can use to attract attention, to get noticed. The thought leadership one in particular would be very good for the pre-roll advertising on YouTube, but the others would be great for your YouTube channel and to be used on your website and the like. Okay. So now we move to the next stage, which is the convert, where we try to take people from knowing who we are and what we do to wanting to actually talk to you about what you do. All right. So the first example of this, I'm actually not going to show you because you're on one, and that is the webinar. In a webinar, you get to show what you do, how you do it, your knowledge and your style within that, for people can experience it, get educated and move along to actually choosing you to do that for them. All right. And this is, as I say, is an example of that. But the webinars can be wide ranging. You could do a webinar on how to go about designing a kitchen. I'm surprised that people don't do that, okay? But you could do a webinar on how to light your house. You know, it is very impressive at night how a well-lit house really stands out, and the curb appeal is just really phenomenal. But there's very little discussion about how to do that. You can Google it and go and find someone to do it for you, but you know, it's not getting promoted that much. And you know, if you're in the health field, you could do how-to videos about it, and the Bullet Coffee actually has these in other sections where you have actual videos showing you how to prepare the stuff they're telling you to do and how to use it. All right. But those are all different webinars that definitely can move people along in the buyer's journey. The next one is a product video or demo, okay? And I'm picking Gusto for this because I use Gusto for payroll and stuff. And I actually first saw them through this video. So I thought that would be, I didn't first see them. I had heard about them. They'd already attracted me. But then when I went and started researching, this video was there. And so I actually watched it before contacting them. So I know it works because it got me.
Welcome to Gusto, one intuitive place to manage payroll, benefits, and HR for your business. HR people have to keep track of a lot of employee information and juggle many different parts of their business. Time that could be used toward more strategic projects instead goes to tracking down paperwork, managing spreadsheets, and responding to endless employee questions. There's an easier way. Gusto works with over 40,000 business owners, office managers, and HR people at small and mid-sized companies, all looking for the same thing. One place to manage HR that gives you more time, reduced errors, and one simple login for you and your team. Gusto not only makes you more productive, but gives you the peace of mind that your business and people are taken care of. Compliance is in our DNA. Our licensed benefits advisors are here to help keep you ACA, HIPAA, and ERISA compliant. The biggest benefit of having one system of record is that most of the compliance pieces are automated. You get automatic tax filings, new hire forms, deductions, year-end forms, pay-as-you-go workers' comp, and more. Let's see how easy it is to get started. It all starts with payroll. Simply add your company details, select your payroll schedule, and enter your tax information. Next, set up your company benefits. Whether it's your first time offering benefits or you're looking for new plans, we guide you through every step of the way. Our recommendations are based on your company's information to help strike the right balance between coverage and cost. We've outlined the most important pieces of information to help you select a plan that fits your company's budget and your employees' needs. You can also access the full summary of benefits to see all the details. After you choose a base plan, add additional plans at no extra cost.
All right. That is the product demo. Thoughts?
I wish I'd have known about them before I set up my payroll service.
Yeah, they are absolutely phenomenal. And you can give the best benefits in the world through this program because they do it as a big group. You know, they team up with everybody else and stuff.
Right.
It's incredible. When you hire somebody, all you do is you send them a link and they go in and they fill out all the stuff themselves. They do all the background check. I mean, it is so easy and so complete. But they explain it in the video. You know, by the time you talk to them, there's not much to talk about.
How would you say that this is for a product, but how would you do this kind of video for a service?
Well, okay, I'm going to first say the obnoxious thing. A service is a product, okay? And one of the ways to do it is to explain the actual steps of the process. to say the first thing we do is we sit down and discuss what you're trying to accomplish. What is going to define if we have a successful renovation? Okay. In this conversation, we'll discuss what styles you like, how you use the kitchen, what other people, how many people will be using the kitchen. Is it for entertaining mostly? Okay, these are the things we discuss at this stage. Then we take the answers to this and move it to the design stage of the project. And you walk them right through, just like they're doing it here, walk them right through each step. Does that make sense?
Yes, that's what I thought you were going to say,
Yep.
but I didn't want to assume.
Sure. So again, when we try to do this on a website, on our high converting website, one of the things we try to do, and Grayson, correct me if I'm wrong, because you're the guru with websites, is we usually try to include what is the process, because people can't visualize. We understand the process because we're in the business. Even though it looks like common sense to us, other people just can't visualize what the process is going to be. Is that correct, Grayson? Have I lost Grayson?
No, I was on mute. Yes, absolutely. That's correct.
Yeah.
It's very difficult.
Okay. So again, that's the second convert video. The third convert video is a case study. It has this similarity to a product demo. It allows the people to kind of experience what it would be like to actually be a client. Okay. So for that, and we are using a Doug King. Doug King is actually the national president of NARI, and he's down in St. Pete. And this is a video that Grayson and I did for him. Let's see if I get the right one here. Okay, and we'd put this under the category of a case study.
When Doug came by, 4 or 5 of them came, so I had supervisors and workers and Doug and the whole staff was here, and they all came and very professional and sat down and we kind of talked about some things and what we'd like to do and figured out where we wanted to move things and how we'd go about it. And you went, yep, there was nothing I said that he couldn't do. So then you can see it as you walk around.
Coolest feature about this wall?
So the coolest feature about this wall is if you wiggle your fingers.
If you snap your fingers, I'll let you go into the magic room.
Isn't that cool? I like this place.
No, honey, I'm good. I got somebody at home.
Lance?
This is from House Trends Magazine, an article about his remodel titled, say it.
Makeover magic.
He loves the magic word.
All right. What do people think?
Very entertaining.
Much better than the other one, the animated one.
Yeah, there was more. This was a whole house actually, so we had more to play with also, which helped. And the couple were quite entertaining in themselves also.
Yeah, great fun project. That would have been a blast.
Well, and the more important thing is you get to see what the relationship between the client and the contractor is, which is super important. They, show that they really had a good relationship. He was easy to work with. They, gave them exactly what they wanted, but they were the hero. It was their house. He's having fun living in it.
Right. Okay, so we call that the case study because it encompasses the whole project. Okay. Very powerful. I mean, the number of people converting on this site has gone up dramatically. We put a similar video, which I think we've shared before, of Leo Lance's. Again, the conversion rate skyrocketed when we started putting these on the website. All right. So these are the conversion. This would cause somebody to go, okay, I need to call Doug. I need to talk to him about my renovation. They haven't bought yet, but do you see how it could move the person to actually scheduling that meeting? What do you think?
So these you just showed two just now that were convert stage, but the convert stage, how is that different on that video? They didn't really ask for them to do the appointment. So I know it's not the closing stage, but how is that different than kind of like explaining, case study, explaining and attracting versus converting?
Okay, so again, it's farther down the funnel, and here's what makes it farther down the funnel. The first one was the explanation. It was simply helping people understand. There wasn't a lot of sizzle about the remodeler. There wasn't a lot of sizzle about the relationship. There wasn't a lot of sizzle about why. The first one was kind of selling the concept of remodeling. This one, I think at least, is much more about remodeling with Doug King. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
This has moved much more personal now. This isn't remodeling is a good idea. We've now moved to remodeling with Doug King is a good idea.
That's powerful.
Right. Okay. Now, just in line, just to see the difference, so these are the convert. This is what motivates the people. I mean, I've got to ask, and Alex, I'm going to pick on you because you're a remodeler. Deep down inside, don't you want to go and meet with Doug King after seeing that?
Yeah, I think there's a strong draw that video portrays because it was all about the client and how much fun they had and how much they loved everything, and the remodeler made everything that they wanted happen. There was no, we can't do that. It was like, they'll figure out a way to make it happen, and they did, and the client loved it.
Hey, excuse me, Art.
Yes.
Gail asked, where did you say we should use the first video example on what platform?
Okay. Does she mean
I was talking about the first video from the Attract videos, the one you showed.
The thought leadership one?
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be a great place to show in the YouTube pre-roll as an example.
Okay.
That would be a great one to use on Facebook. You could even use it on Facebook Live. It would be a great one to share in an email newsletter that you had. I wouldn't have it be the only thing in that newsletter particularly, but it would be a great place for an email. Any place where people have not decided or not in the process of deciding to use you yet, they still don't know who you are. And so you're trying to establish your leadership position in the field.
Okay, thanks.
Okay. All right. So just keep track of time. Okay, we're running out of time here. But now we've done the track, we've done the convert. Now we go into the close. Now, just for continuity, I picked another Doug King video that is much more about a testimonial. Okay. Here we go. All right.
So Don, you claim you were my first walk-in.
I believe I was one of the first 10 customers the day you opened this showroom. And I got to tell you, it's changed a lot from the first day you opened it, but it's also changed for the better. Well, Katie and I were driving by, and she was talking about redoing the bathroom, and I said, as far as I'm concerned, there's only one place to go. So we just whipped into here.
Awesome, Sal.
Yeah.
Do you like any of these?
Yeah, I do. I like the ball.
No. I like that.
You weren't around. Ron was here. I said, does Doug ever show up now?
I was hiding in the back taking a nap.
Yeah.
Well, now I'm glad you remembered us and came back because your house was over here in
77.
the jungle area, Jungle Terrace. Now you're down in Broadwater.
Yeah.
And we do a lot of work in Broadwater, so we're glad to add you to our client list down there.
Good. Well, I have to tell you, there's no better place as far as I'm concerned if you're going to do any kind of a kitchen or bathroom remodeling. Pretty soon you're going to get into building whole houses.
I have done a few in the last couple of years.
Have you really?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, I have.
They'll last.
We don't do a lot of them, but that's something that I don't really advertise. But you know, we do a lot of whole house remodels.
Oh, good.
And but we certainly appreciate you trusting us once again to do another bathroom for you.
Yes, sir.
Not another bathroom. Last time was the kitchen, I guess.
It was the kitchen. You had to. Who was the name? Bob something. He came in. I was amazed at how they blew out that back wall.
Yeah.
There's nothing there. They're just bricks, and they just like checked it out with the pneumatic drill.
Yeah.
And just all the way.
It won't happen now, will it?
No, hell no.
That was, we also did it was like an addition. We bumped out your back wall there.
Yeah.
A couple of feet.
3 feet.
Yeah.
Backed it out 3 feet, and there was a problem with the utilities. So you made a little niche in the back for all of the utilities to hang out back there, out of the weather and whatnot. Yeah. That's a good sign.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I like your creativity. I think you're very creative for a contractor builder. Most contractors come in and say, "Yeah, what do you want? You want this one? Okay, goodbye." I mean, you sit and you work with the customer, with us, and you've done nothing but creative suggestions. And I know my wife is quite happy with the suggestions you made.
Well, happy wife, happy life. Right?
Absolutely.
Well, we appreciate your trust in us, and we're going to do our best to make it work again for you.
Yeah, well, I said, you want the best, you'll see Doug. You don't want the best, don't see Doug.
Hey, man.
Yeah.
Appreciate that.
Yeah, anytime.
All right. Thank you very much.
No problem, folks. Okay.
All right, so that was more testimonial. There was less of the actual project and more of how they felt about Doug. And that one, if someone is going, should I hire him? If they've gotten through the 3 stages, if they're now in the point of they've been attracted, they've been converted, they're talking to Doug, now they have to decide if they're going to sign on the line again. Having a testimonial of somebody who had a project done by him already, and when he's going to the second project, he felt there was nobody else to talk to. is a very reconfirming thought when someone's about to sign legal documents. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay, so that's a testimonial. Now, we are at 1 o'clock, so I don't want to go over. I have a couple of other examples, but next week I'll share those. But you see the 3 types of videos and how you can see how it follows the journey that the customer is going through. How it starts off with simply, hey, over here, we know what we're doing and we can help you, and we're credible, to, boy, people really enjoy working with us, and we do great projects, to, yes, you should use us. The videos are following that journey that they're making. And you need, people quite often say, well, what video do I need? And it really is driven by which point of the journey the people are going to be at that are watching the video. All right? Any questions before we sign off?
No.
No? Okay.
Art,
So
I got to ask you one question. On the audio on that video wasn't as good as it was on. I remember the other one we looked at with Doug. Why would that be? And I noticed it kind of irritated me a little bit. Having poor audio. How can you work against that?
Yeah, well, I'm going to say one thing, and then I'm going to let Grayson throw in his 2 bits. One thing is, this guy did not speak clearly, and that made it difficult. He had a little bit of a, I don't know what you call it, but when you were with him, it didn't feel like the audio was clear. Okay. That being said, it was being shot in a place that had more background noise and the like of the other ones, and we had to eliminate some of that background noise, which also hurt the audio. So I think there's a combination there. Grayson, anything you'd add to that?
Oh, Grayson actually left. So.
Okay. Yeah, because but those were the 2 things. Now, what we could have done, Rob, which we now do, is we could have had lapel mics, which would have made it a little bit clearer.
I think it's a background noise. Sorry.
I'm sorry?
I think I was just distracted by the background noise. I think
Yeah,
on the
and
plus,
it was a lot more
made it
before
sound
we...
like it was, sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
I think on the plus side, it made it sound like it was busy in there, that they had a lot of business. A lot of people were there to seek it. But it for me, the background noise just, it was an interesting story that was being told, but it sort of overwhelmed the...
Right. And that background noise was made better by us filtering it out, but that also affected the quality of the audio. So there's a yin and yang going on there. Now, here's the interesting thing, okay? You'd never use this video at the attraction stage because there's not enough interest to hang in with the background noise and the audio not being quite as good. But if the person's already know who you are through the attraction, have already gone through the conversion, they're already talking to you, and you're just trying to make that final decision of, do I sign the contract or not? You have more reason to pay attention and try to listen to it. So it actually ends up being effective. Now, it would be more effective if the audio was better, okay? And I'm not fighting that, okay, at all. But once someone's to this stage, they'll put in a little bit of effort to listen to it, to make a decision. Does that make sense?
Does to me.
Yeah. Okay. So you really want to be, you still want it to be the best you can have it be. No doubt. We should have had lapel pins. That was bad on us. That being said, though, it still works at this stage because the person's vested interest is much stronger at this point. They'll put up with a little distraction of background noise or the audio is not being as good. Whereas if this is the first time they were seeing you, they wouldn't put up with it. All right?
Thanks, Art.
Okay. Have a great Memorial Day weekend, everybody.
You too.
Thank you.
Stay safe.
Bye.